The Sinestro Corps is a group of fictional characters, a villainous analog to the Green Lantern Corps in the DC universe, derived from the emotional spectrum. It is led by the supervillain Thaal Sinestro. Fictional history. Before the Corps equals. The Parallax entity is a space parasite that is the embodiment of fear that was imprisoned within the central power battery or No. As time passed, the entity became known as the Yellow Impurity, the cause for the power ring's weakness to the color yellow. Thaal Sinestro, at the time the universe's greatest Green Lantern, was sent to Earth by supernova in a plot to erase Guy Gardner from history. Booster Gold was assigned to prevent this from happening. To do so, he convinced Sinestro to leave Earth, claiming that he was an admirer from the future, and that his Yellow Legion of Superheroes flight ring was a tribute to Sinestro. When asked what corps he belongs to, Booster ad-libbed, the Sinestro Corps, leading Sinestro to twirl his mustache in thought while mumbling, "Of course. Of course." After Sinestro went rogue, he was banished by the Guardians of the Universe to Cord in the antimatter universe. When he returned, he wielded a power ring which used yellow energy. After various encounters with Earth's Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, he was imprisoned within the central power battery. There he was able to use his ring, which uses fear, as opposed to willpower, as a power source, to awaken Parallax from hibernation. From there, Parallax and Sinestro were able to influence the fall of Hal Jordan and instigate the fall of the Green Lantern Corps, leaving one last Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner. Recruitment drive equals. After the Green Lantern Corps was restarted with the return of Hal Jordan, the Sinestro Corps began actively recruiting members, offering yellow power rings and a role in the Corps to those who can instill great fear. Members of the Corps are immediately taken to Cord to be subjected to psychological and physical reconditioning. The members of the Sinestro Corps work in sectors, like the Green Lantern Corps. Cord also has a huge yellow central battery on its surface like the one used on O. Although the Sinestro Corps uses fear, and opposes the Green Lantern Corps and the Guardians, Sinestro has stated their goal is to bring order to the universe, which he claims the Guardians have failed to do. Archillo, a large and muscular vicious alien, is enslaving all the Cordian weaponers and forcing them to continuously build new yellow rings which are programmed to breach the barrier between the antimatter and matter universes to find and recruit new ring wielders. Archillo also serves as the Sinestro Corps drill sergeant, similar to Kilowog's role in the GLC. Members recruited include Kara Sil, raised by animals. Despotelis, a sentient virus capable of attacking lanterns from the inside. And Bedovian, the sniper of the Corps, capable of taking out a target from 3 sectors away. During this time, the Sinestro Corps attempted to recruit Batman, known even to some alien races for his formidable ability to instill fear in others. However, Batman's willpower combined with his previous brief exposure to a power ring allowed him to reject the yellow ring before it took him to be properly trained and molded into one of Sinestro's soldiers. The yellow ring then sought a replacement and selected Amon Sur, the disgruntled son of Aben Sur, who was on Earth attempting to steal Hal Jordan's ring. The prophecy equals, it was revealed that after untold millennia, the weaponers of Cord, ranks the sentient city, the children of the White Lobe, and the Empire of Tears will rise united against the Green Lantern Corps. This was largely ignored up until upgraded manhunters started to appear throughout the universe. Hal Jordan encountered one on Earth and, with Guy Gardner, followed their trail to Sector 3601. Hal and Guy found several Green Lanterns, all of whom were assumed to have been killed during the Emerald Twilight Saga, and the Manhunters knew Grandmaster Hank Henshaw, the cyborg Superman. The Manhunters were defeated and Henshaw's head was brought to O. The Book of O has a forbidden chapter on cosmic prophecies, which includes the following: after his interrogation, the Guardians learned that Henshaw is aware of the 52 parallel universes and that if New Earth was destroyed, the new multiverse would collapse and the antimatter universe would take its place. 2 of the Guardians, Gauntlet and Said, warned the other Guardians not to ignore the prophecy because it could destroy the Green Lantern Corps. The Sinestro Corps War equals. Following his defeat in Green Lantern, Rebirth, The events of Green Lantern, Sinestro Corps Special No. 1 Sinestro retreats to the planet Cord in the antimatter universe. There he amasses an army, the Sinestro Corps, that he selects based upon their ability to inspire great fear. Each member is armed with a yellow power ring, mirroring the green ones of the Green Lantern Corps. Amongst Sinestro's allies are Parallax and the resurrected Anti-Monitor. The Sinestro Corps then launches an all-out assault against the Green Lantern Corps and the universe itself. During the assault on O, the Sinestro Corps manages to inflict heavy casualties and free Superman Prime and the cyborg Superman from their imprisonment. Kyle Rayner is captured and transported to Cord, where Sinestro manages to separate Rayner from the symbiote Ion, allowing Parallax to possess him. Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner return to Earth to warn the Justice League of the Anti-Monitor's return. As the Sinestro Corps spreads out to ambush Green Lanterns across the universe, Green Lantern Volume 4 No. 23 sees the Guardians deciding to rewrite their sacred text, the Book of O. They add 10 new laws, the first of which authorizes the use of lethal force against the Sinestro Corps. As the Green Lanterns gather on O in preparation for a Sinestro Corps assault, the Sinestro Corps teleport themselves and their central power battery instead to a new world, their objective revealed to be Earth. Events in Green Lantern Corps Volume 2 No. 16 show Hal informing the Green Lantern Corps of Sinestro's plans. Green Lantern Volume 4 No. 24 continues the story, with Green Lanterns and Sinestro Corps members battling across Earth. Hal manages to free Kyle from Parallax before the entity is imprisoned in their power batteries by Gauntlet and said. After John and Guy arrive, the former Guardians reveal to them the prophecy of the Blackest Night, seen in Green Lantern Volume 4 No. 25. It foretells of 5 more Corps arising, each based on a different color and emotion. After the 5 Corps are established, a war of light will ensue, in which all the Corps are destroyed, leading to the Blackest Night. The Guardians arrive on Earth and appoint Sodam Yat to be the new Ion. After a lengthy struggle in New York, the Sinestro Corps are defeated by the overwhelming numbers against them. One of the Guardians sacrifices himself to send Superman Prime to an alternate universe, while Hal and Kyle subdue and arrest Sinestro in Coast City. In the aftermath of the battle, seen in Green Lantern Volume 4 No. 25, the Guardians decide to bring the second of the new laws into effect. After realizing that the Blackest Night prophecy will come to pass, Gauntlet and Zed depart after creating a blue power ring with the intention of creating their own Corps, based on the spreading of hope to the rest of the universe. The Anti-Monitor, having been blown across the vacuum of space at the battle's climax, finds itself on a dark planet. There it is transformed by an unknown force into a black power battery. Blackest Night equals. Following the Sinestro Corps War, the Green Lantern Corps tracked down the abandoned Sinestro rings and prevented them from finding new bearers. Among these is Amon Su's ring, which attempts to recruit the self-proclaimed Master of Fear, Jonathan Crane. The surviving members of the Sinestro Corps continue to try to bring fear to the Green Lanterns, in part by murdering the family members of Green Lanterns. Meanwhile, Mongol begins his quest to take command of the Sinestro Corps in their namesake's absence. After obtaining an additional 5 rings by killing Corpsmen who refused to follow him, Mongol takes over the planet Daxam and then a large contingent of the Sinestro Corps. After besting Arkillo in one-on-one combat, he renames the Corps, the Mongol Corps. In Rage of the Red Lanterns No. 1, a group of Sinestro Corps members still loyal to Sinestro release him from Green Lantern custody as he is being transferred for execution. Their rescue attempt is temporarily spoiled by an attack from Atrocitus and his newly formed Red Lantern Corps. Sinestro is abducted by Atrocitus' forces and brought to the Red Lantern base planet, Esmalt. Planning to use Sinestro's blood for their own means, the Sinestro Corps eventually arrive and liberate him from the Red Lanterns. After their escape, Sinestro and the Sinestro Corps return to Cord, revealing that there is a backup main power battery. Sinestro orders his men to free the Sinestro Corps members imprisoned on Zamaron by the Star Sapphires and meet him on the dark side of Daxam's moon. After Sinestro attends to family business, they will retake the Sinestro Corps from Mongol. In addition to those members imprisoned on Zamaron, Sinestro Corps members are also being held prisoner on O. Their power rings are held in containment along with other rings that were prevented from finding new bearers. When Red Lantern Vice is freed from confinement in his Scient Shell, he attacks the Green Lantern jailer. Though the imprisoned members of the Sinestro Corps initially cheer him on, they find that he is just as likely of attacking them in his rage. During the jailbreak, Scar frees the yellow power rings and they find their bearers in the Scient Shells. Upon being reunited with her ring, Lyssa Drac claims to once again be able to feel the Book of Parallax. Now armed with their rings, the Sinestro Corps join in the battle with the Green Lanterns and Vice. The faction of the Sinestro Corps led by Sinestro are planning an invasion of Zamaron, homeworld of the Star Sapphires, in order to retake the female Corps members being held prisoner there. After being repelled from Daxam, Mongol's faction invades Koruga. Sinestro's rescue attempt is interrupted by a Black Lantern attack, which he only survives through the arrival of Hal Jordan and Indigo One, leader of the Indigo tribe. Indigo One brings Sinestro to Koruga, so that he may finally confront Mongol. After a fierce battle, Sinestro overrides Mongol's rings, using them to imprison him within the Yellow Central Power Battery, thus regaining control of his core. When he departs with Hal Jordan's group of light wielders, he commands his corps to gather at Koruga and protect it while he is away. The New 52 returning to Koruga after the Guardians decide to leave him with the ring, Sinestro learns that his corps have reverted to their brutal methods, terrorizing and slaughtering the people of Koruga rather than ruling it, Sinestro creating a new Green Lantern ring for Hal Jordan, albeit one that he can shut off at will so that Jordan can help him retake control of the Sinestro Corps, who now want him dead in the belief that his killer will become the new Sinestro Corps leader. After turning various Korugarian prisoners into a temporary Green Lantern Corps using short-lived duplicates of Sinestro's ring, Sinestro and Hal are able to hold off the Sinestro Corps long enough to drain the power away from the central power battery of the Sinestro Corps, to powering all of the Corps members on Koruga, although those more distant from the battery will still have access to their own power supplies. Later, all Lanterns rings registered at the Sinestro Corps have disbanded, with 98% of all known corpsmen dead or incarcerated, requiring Arkillo, who was cut off from the other Corps in the orrery with the new Guardians during this attack, to use a new, independent power battery forged by the weaponer from the fear of the Korugarians. It has since been revealed that the Guardians were responsible for Sinestro acquiring a Green Lantern ring in an attempt to undermine the Sinestro Corps as part of their future plans to destroy all 7 Corps. During the conclusion of the Wrath of the First Lantern storyline, Sinestro becomes once again a member of the Sinestro Corps, and after bonding with Parallax, he reactivates the yellow rings and releases all the Sinestro Corps members who were incarcerated on O. Prominent members. Like the Green Lantern Corps, the Sinestro Corps has 7,200 ring bearers, 2 for each of the 3,600 sectors of space. Leadership Thaal Sinestro, an anthropologist from the planet Koruga who was specializing in reconstructing the ruins of long-dead civilization when indoctrinated into the Green Lantern Corps by the Green Lantern Frol Goskother, who crash-landed in one of the ruins and died, giving his green power ring to Sinestro, advising him to use it to defend himself from a reopener of Cord who pursued the Lantern. Taking Goskother's post, Sinestro became one of the greatest Green Lanterns alongside Abensur because of his desire for order, which eventually led him to the idea of secretly becoming a dictator on Koruga. However, this rule over his own planet was exposed to Sur's successor, Hal Jordan, who was helping him stop an attempted Khund invasion on Koruga. As a result, Sinestro was brought before the Guardians and banished to Cord. There, he plotted his revenge by allying himself with the reopeners of Cord who created the Yellow Power Ring so he can face and outnumber the Guardians and the Green Lanterns as the leader and namesake of the Sinestro Corps. Mongol, the son of a longtime foe of Superman. After the end of the war, he found a downed Sinestro Corps member and broke his neck, taking his ring for himself. Defeated by the Green Lantern BZZD when he attacked him from within, flying out through his eye. Mongol was then thrown to the planet of the Black Mercies, where Mother Mercy intended to use his body as food for her children. He later broke free, and escaped the planet. He later took charge of the Sinestro Corps, attempting to turn Daxam, and later, Koruga into their new homeworld. However, Sinestro confronted him, and overrode his ring control, trapping him within the Sinestro Corps central power battery. Arkillo, a feared warrior from the planet Vaughn who became one of Sinestro's first recruits, acting as both drill sergeant and carnivore. Arkillo fought Mongol for control of the Sinestro Corps and lost, having his tongue ripped out and forced to wear it around his neck. His tongue was later restored by Saint Walker of the Blue Lantern Corps, who Arkillo grows somewhat attached to. Described by Jeff Johns as the Kilowog of the Sinestro Corps. Arkillo appears in Green Lantern, New Guardians, acting as the representative of the Sinestro Corps. For a time Arkillo was the only active Sinestro Corps member prior to its rebirth. Ringbearers Anti-Monitor, a supreme being titled the Guardian of Fear who was responsible for the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. The Anti-Monitor is an almost infinitely powerful threat. Returning in the wake of the events of Infinite Crisis in 52, he allies with Sinestro to form the Sinestro Corps. His agenda is the same as it was in the Crisis, to become sole overlord of the antimatter universe upon the destruction of all matter universes. The Anti-Monitor is later discharged from the Corps. Karu Sil, a village girl from the planet Graxos 3 whose family was killed during a raid on her village, leaving her to fend for herself in the bordering jungle while being raised by animals. While helping her pack attack a boy from neighboring village, the Green Lantern Blish stopped them and delivered Karu Sil to an institute on Graxos 4. However, it was the act of killing one of her psychologists there that she was bailed out of the orphanage by a yellow power ring and became a member of the Sinestro Corps. Karu Sil was at one time captured by the Zamarons and trapped in a power ring conversion crystal. Before Fatality was released from her crystal, Karu Sil's conversion was still shown as being incomplete. She has since been freed. Despotelis, a sentient created in a medical lab on the planet Kandra that can kill from within, responsible for the death of 85% of Space Sector 119 in addition to Kal Rayner's mother. Despotelis was also responsible for infecting Mogo with a disease that drove several Green Lanterns mad when exposed to Mogo that got Guy Gardner framed for murder, though Isamuk Kul gave Guy the benefit of the doubt having noticed earlier that something was strange on Mogo when he was seeking counseling, and with Saranic Nchu's help they were able to cure Mogo. Despotelis was defeated by Liesel Pon, a Green Lantern smallpox virus shortly after infecting Guy. It was last heard he was imprisoned on O. Amon Sur, the son of deceased Green Lantern Aben Sur who became leader of the Black Circle crime syndicate until a battle against Kal Rayner had him overthrown. Afterwards, he journeyed to Earth, plotting to steal his father's Green Lantern ring from Hal Jordan by hiring bounty hunters to find him. When he met the hunter who captured Jordan met up with Amon in the desert where Aben was buried, he betrayed Amon and revealed himself as John Stewart in disguise when Amon was about to use his weapon on Jordan in disgust to the fact that he wasn't worthy to have the ring. In the middle of the fight that followed, a yellow power ring appeared and welcomed Amon as a member of the Sinestro Corps, transporting him away from Earth. This yellow power ring had previously tried to recruit Batman as the Corps member for this sector, and following Amon Sur's death, it sought out the Scarecrow as its new bearer, but it was destroyed by the Guardians. He was recently revived as a member of the Black Lantern Corps. Through the combined attack of Hal Jordan and Indigo One, his ring was destroyed, and his body reduced to ash. Krybe, a hag from the planet Vora who kills Green Lanterns who are parents and stores their children in a cage growing out of her back. The other members of Rayner's team then attacked Krybe in the Sector House, causing an explosion which caused the Sector House's orbit to begin to decay and fall into the planet. Krybe was taken by Miri Riem to Zamaron and imprisoned in a power ring conversion crystal. She was freed during Sinestro's assault on Zamaron, and convinced Miri Riem to help her find her children, whose voices she could no longer hear. They discover that the children have become Black Lantern orphans, and are attacking the OWN central power battery. When Red Lantern Guy Gardner attacked the children, Krybe attacked him, but he ripped off her arm and shoved it down her throat. She is later seen with the rest of the Lanterns descending to protect the Earth from Necron. Tekik, a robot created on the planet Potter 59-3 that rebelled against its life of servitude, creating a fear program that infected every other robot on the planet. The planet never recovered from Tekic's attack, and has since been abandoned and renamed the Lost World. As a result, Tekic came to the attention of a yellow power ring that welcomed him into the Sinestro Corps. More the Melting Man, a scientist from the asteroid outpost DW426 who was changed by an accident with a power source into a mindless being whose touch can melt any other life form. Romat Ru, a Xutarian who is regarded to be one of the vilest creatures in the universe. Amper NNN, a serial killer from the planet Thaal, who has a habit of removing the organs of his victims and meticulously cleaning them. Superboy Prime, a younger, alternate-dimension version of Superman from Earth Prime and a main antagonist from Infinite Crisis. Bedovian, a hermit crab-like cannibalistic sniper who can kill from 3 space sectors away. He was located and injured by Jon Stewart. He is shown in Green Lantern's Corporation No. 46, helping to shoot a giant bullet with Dove inside to the Anti-Monitor. Lo, the most dangerous parasite in the universe. Can drain every drop of blood out of nearly any being in seconds. Replicates by laying eggs in the bodies he kills, birthing up to 1,000 parasitic slugs from a single carcass. Inkafos, a strategist who coordinated the Sinestro Corps attack on Mogo and was ultimately killed by Sodam-Yat. Ethan Van Sciver described Inkafos as an analogue to the Green Lantern Corps Salork. Recently revived as a member of the Black Lantern Corps. Batman, a yellow power ring attempted to induct him into the Sinestro Corps during the Sinestro Corps War, but Batman managed to remove the ring from his finger, causing the ring to fly off. Batman put on a Sinestro Corps power ring during the Forever Evil storyline in order to fight Power Ring, thus becoming the Sinestro Corps member of Sector 2814 as a result. Borealosaurus, the oldest member of the Sinestro Corps and one of the only surviving members of a race of carnivorous sea animals from the Guardians' homeworld of Moltas that were hunted down after killing dozens of Guardians of the Universe. Brach, a coelacanth who feeds on the endangered space dolphins, attracting the attention of space dolphin lover Lobo. Buragunza, a seemingly model prisoner on Tacron Galtos. When his restraints were removed, he slaughtered 42 guards before being brought down. He was killed by Bolfunga during the Sciential riots. Recently revived as a member of the Black Lantern Corps. Devildog, a convicted murderer on at least 17 planets. Dual EKNHAM, a Siamese twin-like pair of doctors from the planet Cedars with 2 faces and personalities. One side wishes to kill and maim in the most gruesome ways possible, while the other prefers more sophisticated methods of murder. The Sinestro Corps ring places itself on the hand of the violent side. The two are forced to serve Mongol and Green Lantern Corps No. 23. Annoyed with their constant bickering, Mongol uses his ring to separate the two. The violent side is killed by Guy Gardner, and the other side is torn apart by the other Lantern's attack. Both sides are later seen reunited as members of the Black Lantern Corps. Their ring and body are destroyed by a joint attack from Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris. His name is derived from the reverse spelling of artist Doug Maink's last name. Fatality, a longtime enemy of the Green Lantern Corps, Fatality was captured by the Zamorons and encased in a violet crystal designed to convert her power ring into a star sapphire ring. Fatality's conversion recently completed, and she is now a member of the Star Sapphires. Fina Seek, a famous artist who discovered a ritual to bring her creations to life and slaughtered any living thing that's blood the ritual required, including her husband, earning her the attention of a yellow power ring. Flash, after the Flash was possessed by Parallax during the brightest day, he temporarily became the Sinestro Corps member of Sector 2814. Flate, a power ray from the planet Tristram, known for draining the power out of hundreds of passing starships, rendering them stranded. Glean, one of the Krolotians responsible for the transformations of Hector Hammond, Black Hand, and the Shark, and has tampered with the evolutionary patterns of over 1,000 species. Amongst his species, Glean is considered the cruelest and most twisted. He is annihilated by Alpha Lantern Verix when he attempts to break Sinestro out of his prison transport. Gorga, an expert tracker who tracked Sinestro to Earth after his leader's apparent betrayal. Claimed he would get to rule the Sinestro Corps for killing Sinestro. Was killed and his ring destroyed. Harasp the Hunter, murderous brother of the Green Lantern Harvard. Imprisoned by his brother for illegal hunting, Harasp has made Harvard his next big game. Hal Jordan, a Green Lantern officer given a couple of yellow power rings during the Sinestro Corps War since his own ring had run low on power and he was unable to recharge it at the time, though it did not work out as planned. During the War of the Green Lantern storyline, after being forced to remove his Green Lantern ring to prevent him from becoming the host of Biparallax again during the War of the Green Lanterns, he chose Sinestro's ring due to his previous experience with using a Sinestro Corps ring. Cyborg Superman, the man-machine hybrid who destroyed Coast City, and eventual Grand Master of the Manhunters. Although he works with the Sinestro Corps, he does so solely so that he can die. He is loyal to the Anti-Monitor alone, knowing that he can kill him for once and for all. Henshaw is believed to be killed at the end of the Sinestro Corps War storyline only to have the Manhunters find him once again. Hawkeye, member of the same race as the Green Lantern Onu. He was later killed by his counterpart near Mount Rushmore. Revived as a member of the Black Lantern Corps. Immaxub, purple-skinned, bug-eyed alien, captured by Sodam Yat and Orizia. While in a holding cell in Sector House 2815, he was crushed to death by the arrival of Sodam's mother's spacecraft. His name and appearance are derived from actor Steve Buscemi. Kira Aziz, a Sinestro Corps member who blinds and tortures, splintering the ring's beams with her prisms. She was later said to be able to use her spider-like physiology to metabolize the ring's energy and produce spiderweb out of it. Kira Aziz was captured by the Zamarons and trapped in a power ring conversion crystal, but has since been freed. Kretch, a demonic being from the planet Zo. Able to erupt into a massive supernova capable of engulfing entire cities. Lex Luthor, after he stole the Scarecrow's Sinestro Corps power ring during the Blackest Night, he temporarily becomes a member of the Sinestro Corps. Lyssa Drak, keeper of the Book of Parallax. After being imprisoned by the Green Lantern Corps, she goes searching for her book. In her search, she finds the Book of the Black and is trapped inside its pages by Scar. She has since been freed, and defected the Sinestro Corps to join Krona, Marsh. Conceived as triplets, Marsh was later fused into one body, with three faces stacked one on top of the other. The top head is an innocent personality, unable to stop the two more vicious personalities from controlling their shared body. Mallow, head of a bloodthirsty group of marauders, whose hideout is in the center of the worst asteroid storm in the universe. Moose, a mammoth-like alien. His real name is unpronounceable, so his ring chose the closest approximation. Narok, an alien with an octopus-like lower body who, prior to joining the Corps, imprisoned his own sister and forced her to devour her children. He was killed by the Black Lantern Harbinger. Peacemaker, selected from Earth to join the Sinestro Corps, the alien Reach placed a beetle scarab in his spine to make him a joint agent with the intention of assassinating Jaime Reyes, the Blue Beetle. However, with Blue Beetle's help, Peacemaker is able to resist the ring and the scarab, removing both. The Quintet Squad, 5 siblings, whose species cannot be identified by the Green Lantern's rings. They attack the families of Green Lanterns, raining the eyes of their victims over O. 4 of them were brought in by the Green Lanterns, except for Ina, one of the female siblings, who killed herself to avoid capture. Ranks the Sentient City, an intelligent, free-floating robotic city that is prophesied to kill Mogo. Scarecrow, a criminally insane college psychiatrist and recurring opponent of Batman who is selected by a duplicate of Sinestro's ring as a deputy to the Sinestro Corps during the Blackest Night crisis. Lex Luthor, overwhelmed by the orange light of greed, steals his ring. Siva, once posed as a torture god of Aplicto, influencing thousands to murder on his behalf. Possesses unmatched powers of persuasion. Schlagman, a native of the planet Bismol, who had his teeth removed after biting through a policeman's neck. He has since had them replaced with Bismolian steel, allowing him to bite through anything. He was executed by the Alpha Lanterns and later revived as a Black Lantern. Ruggles, the bomb mistress of the planet Rourke, who is responsible for the construction of 6 blink bombs throughout the universe, one of which he gave to the children of the White Globe to destroy Mogo. Tagreeds, member of a race of under-reptiles that dwell in the dark waters of planets in the Regulus system. His ring allows him to breathe outside of water. Circuit, an insect that lives in the space between dimensions. Slushh, an acidic polymorphous globular being. His insides are composed of a corrosive fluid that liquefies flesh instantly. During the attack on Zamaron, black power rings revive the skeletal remains within Slushh, causing them to burst out, badly damaging his membrane. Snudge, known for attacking starships, assimilating their technology, and killing the crew. Snaptrap, a humanoid crocodile who uses his hypnotic eyes to lure in his prey. He then devours the victim's spines, leaving them alive and in agony. Smithwick, belongs to the same race as Slorg, whom he has sworn to kill. Stanch, a once benevolent being who was corrupted in body and mind through the pollution of his world, becoming a monstrous killer of the skies. Starro, an alien parasite that creates copies of itself which take possession of sentient organisms and take control of their minds. Tri-Eye, a fearsome traveling creature who uses his 3 mouths to tear his victims to pieces and devour them, leaving no trace left. He is executed by the Alpha Lanterns following the Sinestro riots and later revived as a Black Lantern. However, another virtually identical member of his species has been shown with the Sinestro Corps during and since the Blackest Night. Yugai, a female alien with an eye placed where a human mouth would be located and 2 mouths where human eyes would be located. She is killed by the Alpha Lanterns during the mass execution of the Sinestro prisoners on O. She was recently revived as a member of the Black Lantern Corps. Dox, while battling the Black Lantern version of his wife, Stealth, Dox was chosen by the slain Narok's ring to be his successor. He is later discharged from the Corps, following his repeated refusal to follow Sinestro's orders and go to Koruga. The Weaponer created Sinestro's original yellow ring. He later lured Sinestro to Corps to destroy him. After he was defeated he accepted Sinestro's invitation to join his Corps. Yellow Lantern, a citizen of Bizarro World who is selected as a member of the Sinestro Corps. He ignores the ring's commands until the ring overrides his free will and takes him to the battlefield. Made a cameo in Green Lantern number 25. This ring-bearer is actually a Bizarro version of Hal Jordan. A Bizarro version Kyle Rayner appeared in the first page of the 2009 DC Universe Halloween special. Several characters have been shown in preview art and mentioned by creators Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver, but have yet to appear. Ethan Van Sciver has also stated that there will be a Frankenstein-inspired member who is 2 aliens cut in half and sewn together, and strange little robots. The Frankenstein-inspired member made a small appearance in the Sinestro Corps special, appearing behind Sinestro. In the final installment of the Sinestro Corps War, many unnamed members were seen during the fight scenes. 2 resembled a xenomorph and a predator. Another resembled the Legion of Superheroes villain Validus, and another was of the Dominator race. Oath, when recharging their power rings, members of the Sinestro Corps recite the following oath: "My power becomes his power," when recited by other members of the Corps. Sinestro's might became for a time Archillo's might, when Archillo was the only active Sinestro Corps member prior to its rebirth. Entity. As the embodiment of fear which is connected to the yellow light of the emotional spectrum, Parallax is revealed to be the emotional entity for the Sinestro Corps. Born when one of the earliest life forms first felt terror, it is insect-like in appearance. Parallax was the first of the 7 entities to be captured by a still unknown person and currently is held captive en route. The Sinestro Corps insignia is based on drawings created by life forms who looked into the mouth of Parallax, and lived to tell the tale. Book of Parallax. This book apparently holds in its pages all the history of the greatest Sinestro Corpsman histories. For unknown reasons the book was changed to Lysidrak with yellow energy from Sinestro himself. This was possibly for the need to have a historian for his Corps and a way for Sinestro to revisit his Corps success. Lysidrak is quite loyal to Sinestro and highly devoted to updating the book and keeping it safe. A power ring is needed to translate the book's text into words familiar to the ring wielder. Before a candidate of the Corps enters a fear lodge, their power rings are drained by the Book of Parallax. Recently, Lysidrak has become the embodiment of the book. Weapons and equipment. Members of the Sinestro Corps use yellow power rings built on cord. Though functionally similar to a Green Lantern's power ring, yellow power rings are fueled by fear instead of willpower. Members are selected for their skill at intimidation and terror. The ring amplifies the aggressive tendencies of the wearer. The yellow rings are charged by yellow power batteries, which are in turn linked to a yellow central power battery based on Karuga. Aside from the recharging limitations common among the various Corps, their only known weakness is that their power can be drained by a Blue Lantern's power ring. Other versions. The Lightsmiths. In the universe prior to the current one, groups managed to tap into the wellspring of power created by the emotional spectrum. In this universe those who tapped into the yellow light were known as the Lightsmiths of the Yellow Light of Terror. In other media. Television. In Batman, The Brave and the Bold, an alternate universe version of Sinestro as a hero was presented on the Injustice Syndicate Earth. He possesses slight variation of his Sinestro Corps uniform. Film. In the animated movie Green Lantern, First Flight, when Sinestro is given possession of the yellow power battery and ring, his Green Lantern uniform transforms into a uniform exactly the same as his Sinestro Corps uniform in the comics, complete with the same symbol. Aside from the uniform, however, there are subtle indications that Sinestro had the same plans for an organized military force. The Sinestro Corps appear in Green Lantern, Emerald Knights as part of a prophecy that Atrocitus tells of Ben-Sur of. Besides Sinestro, several prominent members are featured: Arkillo, Lysidrak, Krybe, Marsh, Karu Sil, Romat Ru, Slush and Tri-I. The second trailer for the 2011 film Green Lantern contains a short segment featuring the symbol of the Sinestro Corps. The closing scene of the film also features Sinestro putting on a yellow ring, whereupon his uniform changes to that of the Sinestro Corps. Video games. The members of the Sinestro Corps make a cameo appearance during Hal Jordan's ending depicted in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. They are shown battling the Green Lantern Corps for control of the Pyramid of Argus. The Sinestro Corps appear in DC Universe Online. The rings of the Sinestro Corporation have been experiencing malfunctions and they blame the Green Lanterns. Arkillo appears as a bounty for heroes. The Sinestro Corps version of Batman is a playable skin in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows version of Batman, Arkham City. The skin can be unlocked by using the code contained in the Blu-ray of the Green Lantern film, by purchasing the Arkham City Skins pack which features all available skins, or by purchasing the Game of the Year edition of Batman, Arkham City. The costume is also available in Batman, Arkham City Armored Edition for the Wii U. In the parallel universe of Injustice, Gods Among Us, Hal Jordan has joined the Sinestro Corps in his role as enforcer for Superman's regime, with Sinestro as another agent of the regime. When Superman is nearly killed by a kryptonite bullet fired by Black Canary, a yellow power ring finds him which he uses to remove the bullet. He then kills Canary while becoming a member of the Sinestro Corps. Nightwing, who in this reality is Damian Wayne, becomes a member of the Sinestro Corps in his single-player ending. The Sinestro Corps appear in LEGO Batman 3, Beyond Gotham. Sinestro and Arkillo are featured as playable characters, while Batman's Sinestro Corps uniform appears as a downloadable alternate skin for the character. References. External links: Sinestro Corps at the Comic Book DB, Wizard article on the members of the Sinestro Corps, Mujurama Sinestro Corporation preview.